down here for baby splits. Something's gotta happen here sooner or later. I actually got pretty excited for a second. I thought it was baby splits, just not the buck we're looking for. And we're gonna be hopeful. I don't know where he is. Putting our tag on him. It's going to be baby splits. We've got headed in to kill baby splits tonight. Quite often in the past, we kind of keep doing it on a whim because the last couple of years I've had baby splits down here since our encounter with him last night. I just can't figure this deer out. Of him. I don't even know where he is at this point.
It's June 30th. Moving some stands around here in Wisconsin on some of the farms that we can hunt here. We're actually pulling this set here. We're gonna leave the one on the other end of this property, set a camera up on it. I'm pulling some of these stands for Iowa, and then some of them we're moving up over towards my dad's property, setting it up for hopefully baby splits or some of the other bucks we got on camera that made it through last year.
I think that's my my split G29. Yep, that's him.
Well, that's our first encounter with the buck we call baby splits. That's actually on a farm that I can hunt. Me and Dylan hung a set there about a month ago, and I checked the camera right by where we hung that set. I'd say about a week after that, and we had him on camera there the day after we hung it, broad daylight. Ever since then, though, he's been pretty much MIA. I haven't had a picture of him in probably almost a month down there. Had pictures of him all summer long, a lot of daylight pictures, and didn't know where he was. And we were just driving past the one farm tonight, and here he was 100 yards off the road with a doe, just grazing out in the alfalfa field there. We got a cold front hitting next week, Wednesday, Thursday. Dylan's coming up, and our game plan, when I looked at the weather today, is to probably go in after that buck. We should have the right wind direction on him, so hopefully it all works out. We maybe get lucky the first of the year.
We just snuck in here and got set up finally. As we were coming in, there was actually a fawn out in the field and some turkeys. So we tucked back into the corn. I think we got in a position where we want to be. There's actually, it's probably only 4:30. We already got a half dozen deer out in the field right now, feeding. We got a northwest wind tonight. Conditions are perfect. Deer are already moving. We gotta kind of make a couple more final adjustments here. Cut some more corn up and get it brushed in a little better, but I think we're sitting all right. The 2017 season progressed with no more sightings of baby splits. However, my sights were set primarily on closing the chapter of a 4-year quest for the buck I called Lefty. I was fortunate enough to connect the dots on a cool November evening. Immediately, my focus shifted to baby splits and gathering as much intel as I could for the upcoming season. October 11th here today. Headed out here to see if we can find the break off of Stevie Wanderer. Got a pretty good idea where he it should be laying. I had a picture of him on the scrapevine, and he headed east
And then about an hour later, I had a picture of him coming back kind of straight north. So there's one little section I think it's most likely going to be laying in, but we're going to come in here, see if we can find it, and maybe keep the story of this buck alive. Been walking up in here for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours now, and no luck finding our buck's break off here, but I did score on a decent shed. I got to look back at pictures because I got a feeling this might be actually my #1 target buck, Baby Splits. It'd be back from when he was a 3-year-old in 2017, but pretty cool. Just stumbled up on this one. Got one more pass in here, and then we're gonna head out of here. Just going through pictures here back from 2017, and this is without a doubt the shed off of my #1 hit lister, Baby Splits. He is 7.5 this year. This was his 3-year-old side. I've been looking for this shed for 4 years now, and I finally got my hands on it. We're set up here in this creek again this morning. After hopefully one of my top bucks I got on camera. There's a couple other good ones down here that I'd have a hard time letting go. But no deer yet. But yesterday we didn't really start seeing deer until about close to 9 o'clock too. So hopefully the action picks up for us here once that sun starts coming up. It's a little after 10 o'clock right now, about a half hour ago. Just to the northeast of us here, we had a doe come through. I caught a glimpse of a smaller buck chasing her, and one of the 8-pointers that me and Aaron had right underneath us yesterday was with him. He got to about 75 yards, and he stopped. We figured there had to be another deer up there that we couldn't see. And sure enough, I don't know if we got him on camera at all, but Baby Splits, our top buck, came out right up in that buck's face and bluffed him out of there, and he headed just back to the north with that doe. It didn't look like they were going too far. It's pretty thick bedding up here. Hopefully he's just with her for a little while here, does his thing, and comes back this way to check stuff out. The 2018 season would conclude with no more visuals of Baby Splits and sporadic trail camera photos to confirm his presence on the property. It wouldn't be until after gun season we would confirm that he was indeed alive and would live to see another fall. It's the afternoon of the 23rd today, October. We're just heading into my dad's property tonight. Got Bryce with me filming this afternoon. We're after our #1 buck, Baby Splits, here tonight. He showed up on the cameras this morning. Got a picture of him up in here at 8 o'clock on one of the cell cameras. So pretty confident that he's in there. Just based on kind of some of the pictures I've had of him in the past. Usually if I get him in the morning, he's definitely bedded up there during the day. Got high hopes. This could be one of our best chances we've had at our #1 buck this year. Saving that one for a special time. There it is. It's a doe. It's kind of up in that little opening.
morning, October 24th. We had a pretty good sit last night. We were sitting just east of here, about 125 yards. Long story short, we seen a couple small bucks and some fawns last night. Got out of here clean. And about 15-20 minutes after we got out of here, I got pictures of baby splits out on our food plot. And he looked like, from the pictures, he came from the general vicinity where we were sitting. We're back in here this morning. We slipped into this stand where we actually got a picture of him yesterday morning working this grapevine. We feel like we're in his wheelhouse. We just gotta hope he does the same thing that he did yesterday. Frickin' zoo in here tonight. We just had a handful of bucks come through. I don't know if this doe was hot or what, but they're just doing laps in here like crazy. Looked like a 2-year-old. I don't know if it's the same one we seen this morning. Might have been a different one. They were going back and forth in here. A few other bucks filtering in and out. It's been a pretty crazy night. I think we've seen at least 5 or 6 different bucks. Just nothing big that we're after, but still another awesome sit. We got about 10-15 minutes left of shooting Lite, so maybe something will happen here quick, but if not, we're gonna be back at it in the morning. It's 2:50 right now. We just had looked like a pretty good up-and-coming 3-year-old. He came strolling through. I actually got pretty excited for a second. I thought it was baby splits. We had a couple does around by him, so he was kind of all fired up, but he came out and just kind of did a loop around us here. We have a pretty good start so far here. We still got a couple hours of daylight. Hopefully we can run into our big guy. November 1st here. We just got set up for the afternoon. We're back in the stand. I got hung here for baby splits. Had cell cam pictures earlier this morning. Baby splits about 100 yards from here to the south. And this is 2 years ago to the day me and Aaron had an encounter with him not too far from here. So historically he should be in this area. Got some pictures of him being in here today, so we're hoping he comes back through here in the afternoon. It's 4:45 right now. We've had some pretty good buck movement in here tonight. We just had a 2-year-old 10-pointer and then another 2-year-old 8-pointer that has a funky right side on him. Came through. Other than that, no sign of the big one tonight.
Two hunting seasons would go by without a single encounter with baby splits, and for a 17-day period, he would vanish on all my trail cameras. I began to write him off as dead when out of the blue he showed up back in early December. Baby Splits was alive and well and ready to battle it out once again.
It's Tuesday, October 26th. We just got in the stand here for the afternoon. We're actually sitting in the same set that me and Bryce hunted here on Sunday. We had a really good sit in here last time. We seen like 10 different bucks. No shooters, unfortunately, but I think it's just gonna be a matter of time before one of them shows up here. Scott just rolled in here this afternoon. He's gonna be hanging with me the next 6 days, 7 days here in Wisconsin. And we're gonna be hopefully putting our tag on baby splits or one of these other bucks that we got on camera. But I'm pumped. It's getting to be that time of year where kind of regardless of the weather, you just got to be in the tree because it could happen any minute. So we're gonna log some hours here in the next week and hopefully we can get it done here. That's what we need our big buck to do. It's more than the 27th. Back in the same stand we sat yesterday afternoon. Just had a nice, like about a 2-year-old deer, all bristled up, come right into this grapevine, worked it, freshened it up, came right underneath us. Just read the script perfect how we want our target buck to come through here. We haven't seen a deer for probably close to 3 hours now. Started off pretty good this morning. We seen 3 bucks. Could hear some other deer off in the distance. Some does blowing, and I'm assuming some bucks chasing them around. But it's been a little bit quiet here. Wind picked up last few hours, so it's beautiful out here. Sun's out, clear skies. So instead of sitting back at the house, we might as well spend time in the tree here. Just getting ready to pack up here. Literally just took the bow off the hanger, was getting ready to take my arrow off. Right behind us comes baby splits right down the dike of the pond here. He was at about 30 yards and the wind was blowing right at him. I mean, he took the only spot that he could have caught our wind. Scott wasn't able to get turned around and film him. Like, it just happened so fast. I was lucky enough to look over and he was standing right there. He didn't see us. He just hit the brakes, caught a whiff of us and spun around. Unreal. We came into a stand here this morning that I usually spend a lot of time in the fall. The past couple of years, I've gotten baby splits down on this farm quite often in the past. This year has kind of not been the case. We just had 2 bucks come through. One was a 1.5 years, the other one was a nice looking 2-year-old. But we kind of came down here on a whim because the last couple years I've had baby splits down here kind of pre-rut this time of year around the October 28th. Since our encounter with them last night, we haven't had a picture of them anywhere on any of the farms I hunt around here, so not really sure what he's up to. But we got in here this morning and about 40-50 minutes before we got in the tree. One of our shooters came past one of my cell cameras here about 100 yards to the east, heading up into this bedding. So he can't be too far away. He's been a lot more regular on this farm in the past week. Hopefully we can either run into him, maybe we'll get surprised and baby splits will come strolling through this morning, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up on that. But it's a nice morning out. We're just gonna sit out here and hopefully one of these solid bucks will come cruising through here. Closing in on 10:30 right now this morning. Had a decent morning so far. We've seen a few bucks, a few does, a couple dogs, unfortunately. They're calling rain here starting at 11 o'clock, and it looks like it's going to rain pretty much the rest of the day. So we're going to probably pack up here, try and get back to the vehicle before it starts. I'd imagine that rain will keep these deer kind of hunkered up most of the day, and it's actually supposed to rain through the night and stop sometime before daybreak tomorrow morning. So it is October 29th today. We're sitting stand I call it Jack Pine stand. I haven't hunted this stand in a couple of years now. We're about 80 to 100 yards off of our food plots here. And we're just trying to catch some of these deer maybe coming off them in the morning or just kind of cruising through this tag alder. It's been kind of misty, rainy all night. It's still a little bit on and off right now. It's supposed to clear up here sometime mid-morning to midday. Kind of a slow night again tonight, which was a little bit expected with this wind. We were able to see at least one little buck and a couple does and one fawn. It's looking like tomorrow things are going to start picking up weather-wise. And they're only going to get better as the next few days progress, so I'm pretty excited. We're going to slowly start getting more aggressive here, I think, on some of the stands we're going to sit.
We better do two.
Oh, what we got going on?
Well, Scott's making me watch the Michigan State game, which I don't really care anything about. But we're gonna eat a little lunch here, watch the game, and then we're gonna head back out here.
We just got set up here in the tree about a half hour ago. We weren't even, I didn't have my bow up yet. Scott didn't even have the camera arm set up or nothing. And we had one of our really nice bucks. I think I didn't get a chance to put the binos up on him, but I'm pretty sure it was a buck I called Jumper. He must have been bedded up here looked like was a doe. Only about 40 yards away, he stood up. He had no clue we were here, and he just kind of wandered off to the west. Since we kind of got all everything all situated, we had a 2-year-old 8-pointer come through. I'm pretty sure it's the same buck we've been seeing most of the week here. And then a few minutes ago, we had a buck I don't even recognize. He looked like a big 8-pointer, kind of had short G3s, heavy deer though. He came out of the woods to the north here, ran across this field, and he went across the road into the neighbors. Looked like a really nice deer. Everything's kind of cleared up now. It's blue skies this afternoon. Nice light breeze. It's warm out though, but it seems like stuff's really starting to kick off now that this front's kind of blown through finally. See him? He's over here. Come right at us. Oh, it's a jumper. That's the buck I call jumper. That's the one there's no way he's a 4-year-old deer. And I keep saying I'm not gonna shoot him. I mean, he's a hell of a deer. But I know he ain't done growing yet. Not quite big enough, Scott, sorry. I thought he was small, honestly. I could have freaking lit him up over here, 17 yards. We need a big one to do that. It's not been a bad morning considering how windy it is right now. So we'll probably sit tight here for a couple more hours, and I want to get into that stand where I shot lefty at a decent time tonight. Headed in to kill baby splits tonight. That's the plan. It's got a big buck. Baby splits. 45 minutes. We didn't even get set up yet. We just finally got set up, but I didn't even, I was getting ready to pull my bow up, and I look over to the east here. Scott didn't even have the camera on the tree arm yet, and about 60, 70 yards away, Baby Splits is standing there with a doe. They slowly work through these tag alders. We got a trail to the north here. That doe hopped on that trail and was walking it right to our stand. I thought she was gonna walk 10 yards past the stand. Unfortunately, she cut in about 10 yards too early, and Baby Splits followed her. If she'd brought him another 10 yards, we'd have had a chip shot on him. But she kind of boogered, went north. He followed her up into some of this thick popple slashing, and that's kind of the last we've seen of him. We got about 20, 30 minutes of shooting light left here. It's been a pretty awesome day. Had a good morning, passed up one really nice buck, and then we had our encounter here with Baby Splits this afternoon. And since him and that doe went up into that thicket, we haven't laid our eyes on him here now for the last few hours. So I'm assuming they must have snuck out of there somewhere, and we just didn't see him. We seen Jumper again this afternoon, and then a couple other, 2-3 other smaller bucks, and some does and fawns. So we're definitely in the right spot. We just need this deer to make a mistake, and he's been pretty lucky. Something's got to happen here sooner or later.
Tired, but it's November 1st today. There's no time to be tired here. It's the rut.
We just got set up in the tree. It is about 11:30, I want to say. We're back in the stand that we sat last afternoon, where we seen Baby Splits here. I don't know. We didn't have any pictures of him last night or this morning. Last we know of, he was up in here with that doe, and I would sure think, once he comes off of her, this is going to be the first area again. He's going to start running around trying to look for more does before he ventures out of here. So I'd love to finally just end the chapter on this deer, because it's been a stressful one this year, that's for sure. I think he's just standing there. I'm not 100% sure it was him, but it's a good deer, whatever it is. I really don't know what to say at this point. We were in the tree for probably half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I caught some branches straight north of us, about 50 yards away, kind of rocking back and forth, and I put my binos up and just see a big rack. And Baby Splits again. He must have been bedded right there, probably 50 yards from our stand when we got in here, and he just got up to stretch his legs. We seen it must be the same doe that he was with yesterday, about 20, 30 yards to the west of him, and he kind of just headed back towards her, and we've watched them probably for an hour and a half now. They just went up into some thicker brush here to the northwest of us, but they can't be very far away. It's 5:30 right now. We got probably a little over half hour daylight left. No sign of baby splits since we seen them here this morning. We've seen a couple smaller bucks, a couple fawns. We actually seen Jumper again, which is the third time in 3 days we've seen him. He was just off to the north here about, 100 yards or so. Clouds kind of came in here the last couple hours. Temps have been dropping. We actually got a little bit of snow flurries right now. Hopefully we can lay eyes on him again here soon, and before he starts wandering off this property too much, chasing other does. But it's been a roller coaster. Just hopefully we can close the chapter on this deer soon. We're sitting this stand tonight really off of a inclination that history is going to repeat itself. I don't know where the big bucks are right now, but it seems like they're not around here. Not a bad start, considering the warm temperatures. We got a hot doe in the area. We just need her to come back through and hopefully bring the right buck with. This morning kind of sucked. We've seen one deer all morning. We're going in. We're gonna get right up tight against them. We should have a decent sit this afternoon. It was one of the slower days I've had in the last few weeks as far as any sort of deer movement. I just can't figure this deer out. I don't even know where he is at this point. That's pretty much gonna lead into gun season here. I'm kind of excited. This is gonna be the first gun opener I've hunted on our home property here in Wisconsin since 2009. I said after that year, I shot a good buck that year, and I said I wasn't gonna pick the rifle up again to hunt here unless something came along that was special. And I would say after hunting this deer for 5 years, he's definitely hit that mark.
What's today?
It's the big 9 day. It's opening day. Wisconsin gun season.
The shots are firing off. We're on pins and needles this morning. We got in here perfect. Didn't bust any deer out. We're basically on the backside of this bedding we've been spending most of the time bow hunting on. I've been kind of looking at our cameras as we've been sitting here the last hour. And it's about 6:40 right now. About an hour ago we had a picture of baby splits on the food plot, which is about 250 yards to the southeast of us, heading our direction. There's a good chance we might run into him today. It's closing in on noon here. We had an okay morning. All we've seen really is a couple fawns. Not many gunshots this morning. Few nearby. But no sight of baby splits. We did hear some deer straight south of us, kind of on the back end of this bedding, crashing around. So maybe it might have been him up in there with some does. The wind's kind of starting to switch, so it's not as much in our favor. So we're actually going to sneak out of here. We're just going to head back to the house quick. My dad's going to be getting done here with work shortly, and we'll probably meet up with him and then both head out for the afternoon as a plan. Well, we just got set up here. It's a little after 2 o'clock. Went back to the house, had a little sandwich. Met up with my dad. He's out hunting with us this afternoon. He's actually sitting straight south of us here, about 150 yards, out on the food plot. Baby Splits actually walked right past the stand where he's sitting this morning. We're just up to the north here, a little off this field edge in the woods. We got a perfect wind tonight, blowing out to the field. We didn't see Baby Splits this morning, obviously, so I'm kind of thinking he might have traveled up through here this morning, maybe to go to the north to bed. So we're gonna hope we can cut him off here in the afternoon. That's our guy. That's our guy. It's Baby Splits. He's coming right to us. You see him? I don't have him right now. Yeah, that's him. Got him. He's coming right at us. Burp. Burp. One more for good measure, bud. We just shot freaking Baby Splits. We just freaking did it, dude. We just freaking did it. Oh. No way. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you realize what we just did? We just shot a 7.5-year-old freaking ghost. If it wasn't for those deer coming behind us and making all that noise, he would have not came this way. He was curious to see what that was. We just got down to the base of the tree here. We're gonna take a look at him here and get our hands on him. He should be laying right over here. There he is, bud. Well, this is a bittersweet moment right here. This is Baby Splits. I've been chasing this deer since 2017. I've had more pictures of this deer than any deer I think I've ever had, running trail cameras over the years. I can't thank Scott enough, and everyone else that has filmed me over the last 5 years chasing this deer. I know everyone on the crew and everyone not on the crew is probably sick of me talking about this deer, but we finally were able to connect the dots on him tonight. We're gonna get him out of here, get some photos taken, all that good stuff, and we're gonna do some celebrating. It never ceases to amaze me the lessons one can learn when chasing a buck as they mature over the years. Every deer has its tendencies and mannerisms for surviving from one year to the next. It is why I'm infatuated with being able to target a specific deer each season. It is the day in and day out chess match that allows you to grow so much respect for these animals and continues to fuel my love for hunting whitetails. The close of the Baby Split story gives me a slight feeling of sadness. The 5 years of memories he gave me, I will never be able to recreate, but I hope this film in some way will honor his legacy to live on forever.